Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Live Sail Die's coverage from day 10 at the sailing in Tokyo. Welcome back to George Gautry. Welcome, George, and of course Andrew Brown, our expert over the other side there. What a phenomenal day yesterday for the Kiwi sailing fans. That was some seriously nerve-wracking medal race watching. It certainly was in my household, and the amount of messages I got, sort of blew me away. Brownie, 49ers, a case of oh so close, so close to not snatching it, defending that gold medal, but still a silver medal. Fantastic effort from Peter Burling and Blair Chook.
Yeah, fantastic effort. Like, it's a silver medal, that's their third medal now. The equal highest sailing medalists in sailing with Barbara Kendall. Like, amazing effort. Third in the race, and as we said yesterday morning, they were punchy, they did the port tack start, went right, believed in what they saw and really went for it. And just, unfortunately, it wasn't quite enough. And when we saw the Germans jibe a little early on that last run, I had a few cringes and a few oh my moments then.
Yeah, so George, it's breaking down that race a little bit. The pre-start was interesting. It was sort of, was hard to know exactly what Pete and Blair's plan was there. It looks like they were setting up just to windward of GBR on the start line, and then they did end up backing out and started on port, and then GBR ended up getting a glamour start down at the pin, and I guess a little bit lucky for them, the boat to leeward of them was over and went back, which opened up that lane. So there we had two of our top three charging off to opposite corners on the first beat. So there's the nerve goes racking up right there.
Yeah, and you got that annoying as graphic that's just ticking over. GBR's in the lead, New Zealand's in the lead, and yeah, I think all of us were sitting on the edge of our couches there waiting to see what that cross happened. And I think for the GBR guys, lucky the boat below them went back, and also Portugal got pulled out off their hip just when you're starting to want to think about tacking. So I think that was really crucial for them.
Yeah, I think they had a nice clear run up that whole beat where the New Zealand boys, when they came back on starboard, they asked the Danish to cross them. They waved them through, but the Danish did tack sort of into leeward of them, which does put you in a slightly compromised position speed-wise, which, that makes that, they only ended up crossing behind GBR by a boat length or so. So there's just a little bit there, didn't quite go their way, but man, they closed right in down the run, and then up that second beat, it was all on again.
Yeah, I think they certainly gave themselves every opportunity to really close out that gold medal, and I know sailing's a sport of many moments that can go wrong or right, and I think to get as close as they did was pretty goddamn impressive. And I think, look, they'll be disappointed to be coming home with the silver, and I think you could see that post-race. Yeah. And I think you just got to look at the finish between GBR and Germany, just quarter of Prada, whatever they call them on those boats, and would have been very different.
Don't have them on your laser, do you?
Nah, just a Vang and a Cunningham or something. I'm not sure.
No, a phenomenal finish, and we saw as Brownie had alluded to, saw the Germans jibe early down that run. Or not, it wasn't super early, and they're in the position where they can't afford to get jumped by GBR going back to the finish line. So they're in a position where they've got to pick their time to go. But every other run, the run before, the guys down on that bottom lay line had made pretty nice gains. So when they did jibe, I was like, oh no, please. But yeah, phenomenal finish. And hey, you've got to give huge credit to the GBR team.
Yeah.
Fletcher and Bithell, they sailed an absolute glamour race, hung in there right to the end, 2-second win to snatch the gold medal from sort of two legends of the sport.
Yeah, exactly. And I've seen for the last few weeks, that's all they've been talking about is trying to beat the two legends. Also for Stuart Bithell, he's now got a gold medal to go with his silver medal he won in the 470 in London. So he's building a very successful Olympic career in his own right as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, well done to Peter Burling and Blair Tuke a silver medal to add to their already, their silver from London and the gold medal from Rio. And who knows if they'll be back or not. I certainly wouldn't count them out.
It's only 3 more years.
So George, let's move on to the next middle race from New Zealand's point of view. Again, another nail biter. Josh Jr. wasn't in a great position up the first beat. Again, chose the right. The left was pretty strong, as we'd sort of seen in general in the 49er race beforehand, where Joel Scott went back, managed to sneak up round there in that first beat. But Josh had a beautiful first run, and part luck comes into it. He had a really nice exit out of that gate where everyone else got a bit jammed up at that other gate mark. So he had a really nice exit start to the second beat and put himself right back in contention.
Yeah, it was a good race again. I think probably the perfect conditions for medal racing, and across all the classes you saw some really close races, which is awesome as a sailor to watch that. Yeah, and I think Josh got himself back in it, and then I think he'll be ruining his mistake at the top of that second run, just getting to the outside when he'd done so well on the inside in that first run. And then you saw the carnage at the bottom mark with so many boats so close together, and just got it a little bit wrong, unfortunately.
Yeah, that whole fleet condensed down that run, a little bit of breeze filling in from behind, and Josh, he tried to cross over to the inside halfway down and did it to most of the fleet, and got himself in a good spot, but unfortunately the Aussie Jake Lilly really defended him hard, and they got him on the outside at that bottom mark, and that was sort of game over. And what was amazing to me is to see that whole Finn fleet, 10 boats, finish within 26 seconds. At that last mark, the Hungarian Berisic was in gold medal position for the reach to the finish, and that changed it on there. So, yeah, phenomenal racing.
Yeah, pretty awesome to see, and I think there was all sorts of yelling going on around the bottom mark, and we saw Josh actually get a penalty post-finishing and having to go back across the line, do his turns and go over. So I'm sure that's just a stab in the back he didn't need, but I don't know, that sailing, it can be cruel sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. So, but still 5th place finish, that's certainly nothing to sneeze at. Brownie, 49er FXs had their medal race yesterday. I just thought that was a superb display of sailing from Team Grail and Kunz. They just were really methodical. Absolutely did exactly what they did, and the Dutch girls who were leading going into it just couldn't quite get out of trouble that whole race. They just were a little bit stuck in the pack, and got a bit caught up and couldn't quite do it, and ended up dropping all the way back to bronze.
Yeah, it was amazing race. I was very lucky enough to coach Martine Grail in the build up to 2012 when she was in a 470, and she's a very smart, very determined, very fiery South American sailor who leaves it all out on the water, and you could see that yesterday, and went for gold. Again, as George said, and as Cam alluded to, another great medal race where we saw, just like in the 49er class, the silver medalists actually came through for a gold. That's what, the racing was all about, and such exciting day yesterday with all those medal races.
And cool to see her dad Torben as the coach.
Yeah,
one of the legends of the sport. An absolute icon of Brazilian sailing and world sailing, multiple Olympic medalist himself. There's a pretty cool family connection there.
Yeah, he's actually the performance manager there, and just across all classes, and he was out also with with Robert Scheid, another legend of the sport, when he did his laser racing as well. So really cool for that there. And also, not to mention that he didn't make the medal race, but Torben's son and Martine's brother, Marco, was racing in the 49er as well. Amazing family.
Yeah. And then we had the Nacra medal race as well. The points at the top of that leaderboard were a bit more spread out. It was great to see Santi Langa go out and smash it out of the park in the medal race there for a win to finish up that games with a bullet. But a impressive display by the Italian team to win that event relatively comfortably over GBR and Germany in third.
Yeah, a brilliant day for those that Italian team. Again, they sailed brilliantly all week, but again, the British came away with another medal. That was a massive day for Great Britain yesterday.
Yeah, they're very impressive from the GBR team through the sailing, quite easily the top country at this game so far. Now, George, I'm sure you've been following our other Kiwis in action too. We've got one more team still going, and yesterday it was an important day for Snowy and Dan in the 470 men's class. They had 2 races left. They finished with a 6 and a 3 to close the gap a little bit on the pair up in front of them again. So they've done all they can. They were 3rd for the day, which is a great performance in that light air, and go into this medal race today 6 points out of bronze.
Yeah, it's cool to see another Kiwi crew right up there in the hunt, and I think what they did yesterday was exactly what they needed to do. Try and close the gap to that boat in front, give themselves a chance today, and like we've seen, anything can happen in those medal races.
Brownie, you get any intel from up there in Tokyo on the 470 boys and how they're feeling?
Yeah, they're feeling pumped. They've got nothing to lose. They're just going to go out there, and instead of taking some boxing gloves to this fight, they're going to take, a machine gun and see how they go, just try and blast it away and give it everything. This is the last time that Snowy and Dan are sailing a 470 together. The 470 is going to become a mixed class after this, so they want to finish their last race together. They've been sailing together since they were 2nd and 4th at the Opti Worlds many moons ago. They've been racing together all this time, and they just really want to end on a really high note.
Nice. And of course, we've also got the 470 women's medal race on today. GBR team pretty solidly in the lead, a 14-point lead. They look pretty secure, but tight behind with France, Poland and Slovenia, so that'll be another one to watch out for.
Yeah, it will be. And I looked at the tracking a little bit yesterday with the 470 women, and you could really see the GBR team really trying to nail home a good lead. They finished 1 place in front of the 2nd place French team in both races, really trying to secure a couple more points ready for this gold medal match today.
Okay, so Brownie, we've got the 2 medal races. We've got the Kiwis on at 5:30 New Zealand time this afternoon. What's the weather looking like?
It's going to be another light one. It is going to be a sea breeze, clear skies, so there will be racing, but it will be light. It'll be marginal to see if it breaks 8 knots. So then, if it is over 8 knots, you're going to see some big pumping action from the 470s. If it's under 8 knots, it's going to be a slow, smooth race.
And you talk about a slow, smooth race. The slower boats in this rig, not saying the 470s Brownie are slow, but they're not exactly rocket ships. The slow boats in these medal races have had some of the most intriguing races so far.
Yeah, I found it really exciting. The Finn that's done that last ever Olympic race yesterday, as you said, 26 seconds. Great racing. The laser race and the laser radial race the other day, another couple of slow traditional boats. It's just been amazing watching. The fast boats, yeah, they're exciting, but the racing's also quite spread out.
Yeah, so well, thank you to George and Andrew again. Thank you to B&G and PredictWind. A shout out to Sailing Energy for the awesome photos coming out of Tokyo. Hey, an awesome day yesterday. We know we were after gold, but silver is a fantastic effort from Peter Burling and Blair Chuk. Let's celebrate that. And today, everyone get behind Dan and Paul, 5:30 this afternoon, to cheer them into a medal as well. See you all tomorrow.